When you think about the financial markets, you probably picture rooms full of people, right? But deep inside the system, there's this powerful, almost invisible force at play. It's making billions of decisions in the blink of an eye, moving markets way faster than any human ever could. We're talking about automated trading, and today we're going to pull back that curtain and find the ghost in the machine.
So, just how big of a deal are these automated systems? Well, get this. Sources like the World Bank figure that somewhere between 60 and 73%, let's just call it an absolutely staggering 70% on average, of all trades in major markets are done by computer algorithms. That's insane. It means for every 10 trades happening right now, 7 of them were placed by a machine, not a person.
And that, of course, brings us to the huge question we're tackling in this explainer. If machines are making most of the moves, who, or maybe what, is really in control of our financial markets? Believe me, the answer is a whole lot more complicated than you might think.
All right, so to really wrap our heads around this, we first need to get our definition straight. The term trading bot actually covers a massive range of different technologies. So what we're going to do is break them all down, starting with the broadest idea and working our way to the most specialized, fastest ones out there.
Okay, so first up, at the very top of the pyramid, you have algorithmic trading. You can think of this as the parent category for, well, pretty much everything we're talking about today. At its heart, it's just using a computer program to carry out a trade based on a set of rules. Simple stuff like, hey, if stock X hits this price, go ahead and buy 100 shares. It's all about automating the how of the trade.
Now, let's go a level deeper to a much smarter subset, quantitative trading, or what people in the know call quant trading. This isn't just about executing an order anymore. This is about using really complex mathematical models and heavy-duty statistical analysis to find the trading opportunity in the first place. So if algorithmic trading is the hands doing the work, quant trading is the brain that comes up with the entire strategy.
And that brings us to the hyper-fast grandchild of the family, high-frequency trading, or HFT. This is where things get wild. We're talking about a game played in microseconds. That's millionths of a second. HFT firms use unbelievably advanced tech and infrastructure just to take advantage of these tiny, fleeting price differences that might only exist for a moment. This is a game of pure, brutal, unadulterated speed.
So, now that we know the different kinds of bots out there, let's talk about who's using them. And this really brings us to a story of two totally different worlds. You've got the massive financial institutions on one side and the individual retail investor on the other. And let me tell you, the gap between them, it's just enormous.
And this slide right here really just lays the whole thing bare. It's wild. Just look at the speed difference. Institutions are working in microseconds, while you or I would be lucky to get a trade through in a few seconds. And location? They have their servers physically sitting inside the stock exchange's data center. It's called colocation, while we're trading from our phones. The data they see, the strategies they use, it's a completely different universe. This isn't a small edge, it's a fundamental difference in how they even experience the market.
Let's dig into that institutional arsenal for a second. That co-location thing, it means their computers are literally right next to the exchange's matching engine. They use special fiber optics and even microwave towers just to shave off milliseconds, because it's faster to send data in a literal straight line. They get to see market microstructure data, which is like seeing every single buy and sell order in real time, something most people never see. And behind all of this, you've got teams of PhDs in math and physics. The main takeaway here is this. They are not just playing the same game faster than us. They're playing an entirely different game altogether.
Okay, so if you're an individual investor, I know this probably sounds pretty intimidating, but here's the thing. Understanding how these systems work is your absolute best defense. Think of this next part as an investor's survival guide, because these algorithms, they aren't just reacting to prices. A lot of them are specifically designed to read and anticipate predictable human behavior.
And hey, don't just take it from me. This is a crucial reality check, and it's a direct quote from the author of our source material, Kareem Ibrahim. The vast majority of automated trading systems developed by individuals fail in the long run. Now, this isn't meant to discourage you, but it's to hammer home the point that trying to compete with the big players on their own terms is, well, it's incredibly tough. The real key is to understand their playbook, not to try and beat them at their own high-speed game.
So how do they do it? Well, this slide shows you their playbook. First, they're programmed to detect herd behavior. That's when a ton of individual traders all jump on the same stock at once. Second, they can spot traders using high leverage who are close to a margin call, where they'll be forced to sell. Third, they target assets with low liquidity, where there aren't many buyers and sellers,
because they know even a small order can shove the price around. And finally, by doing all this, they can actually create momentum that triggers those classic human emotions like panic selling or FOMO, the fear of missing out, which they can then turn around and profit from.
And this all means you have to be super, super careful about those commercial bots you see marketed to regular investors. Here are some giant red flags. If anyone promises you guaranteed, high, or risk-free returns, run. If they hide their strategy in some mysterious black box that you're not allowed to understand, that's a huge warning sign. And of course, if you see aggressive, high-pressure sales tactics and a complete lack of a long-term, verifiable track record, you should be very, very skeptical.
All right, let's pull back for a second and look at the big picture. Because the rise of all this automated trading isn't just changing the game for individuals, it's actually reshaping the stability and the future of the entire financial system.
This technology didn't just appear out of thin air. Back in the 80s, you had the rise of the quants, who were applying these new academic theories. Then the 2000s. That was the decade HFT really took over, driven by a massive technological arms race. And now, here in the 2020s, we're stepping into the AI era. We're talking about machine learning and deep learning models that are starting to make trading decisions that are more complex and adaptive than ever before.
But all this incredible speed and complexity, it brings with it entirely new kinds of risk. The most famous one is something called a flash crash. Just imagine it. One algorithm starts selling a massive amount, which triggers another algorithm to sell, which triggers another, and then another. It creates this absolutely terrifying feedback loop of machines just reacting to other machines, causing the market to plunge in minutes, sometimes even seconds, way before any human can step in and figure out what on earth is going on.
And that really brings us to our final and I think most important question. As these trading bots just keep getting faster and smarter and more sophisticated, what's the new role for the human investor in all this? Is our advantage now in long-term thinking? Is it in understanding human psychology better than a machine? Or is it something else entirely? Honestly, that's the big question we're all trying to answer in this brand new automated world.